We welcome you to another episode of Talking Blizz with Joey Bonadonna. And this week, we welcome in wide receiver number 14, Andre Williams. Andre, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. And obviously, this week, you guys get to enjoy a little bit of a bye here. An interesting stretch of the season. The last month of the regular season, you guys are fully on the road, no games at the rest center. But with this last win against Tulsa, you guys get an opportunity to clinch a home playoff spot at the rest center July 26th. Should be an exciting time, but first off, obviously you were on the road with these guys in Tulsa. What was that win like for the team?
That was a huge win. We knew what was at stake, and if we all came together, got the job done from the top of the program to the bottom of the program, we get that win, we can possibly come back home and lock in a home field advantage in the playoffs. So looks like we locked it in the first round. So let's keep the ball going.
And two
Um,
more, absolutely. Yeah. Two more games here in the regular season. Again, both of those on the road, Jacksonville and Sioux Falls. Um, and those are two teams that are at the bottom end of the Eastern Conference, but obviously the season is not over until it's over. Jacksonville looks like they're starting to make some moves, and Sioux Falls, that's always a tough place to play. But for you looking at this team, where do you think the focus is on? Obviously taking a loss to Quad City, but now getting back on track with Tulsa. Obviously the mantra is one more, but what's the mindset week in and week out with the squad?
it's legit, man. You said it. It's really one more. Yeah, don't get me wrong. We're excited on where we are in the conference and things like that. But this team knows the drill. Like we know what we want, and we need to win each day. That's how we really be looking at it. Our focus right now is getting right on the bye week, getting ready for Jacksonville, and getting our bodies back together how it's got to be, and taking full advantage of this bye week right now, getting our minds back right, bodies right, and and just sharpen up a few things that we need to get right. So honestly, the bye week came in perfect time. So, but like you said, regardless of what Jacksonville and Sioux Falls record is, those are two tough teams. Um, Actually, in 21, I was in camp in Jacksonville, so that environment is live, man. I believe it's Memorial Stadium, if I can remember.
Yep, ViStar Memorial Arena.
Memorial Arena. That arena gets busy. It's packed in there. It's loud. They love football. So it's exciting. They made some changes, but as long as we, do what we got to do, put the practice in, prep right, film right. Coaches are always gonna be ready. They've been ready since camp, so they're gonna make sure we good. So we just got to respond for them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And we'll dive into your story here and um the looking at here with your professional career, you look at this team and this team's built of a lot of guys that haven't really played a lot of indoor ball, but like you mentioned, you were in camp in at least in arena ball with Jacksonville back in 2021, and then you kind of got here into the IFL. You've been around this league longer than most on this roster here with Green Bay. Um, Talk about what that experience has done for you to be able to come into this team and kind of be a vocal leader like you've been during your time here with the Blizzard.
Um, how do I say it? It's been fun, man. I ain't gonna lie. The the young guys on the team keep me on my toes. They cool, man. They different. But one thing I can say is that they're locked in and they ready. Like regardless if it's that outdoor to indoor transition, they did it, and it's amazing to watch because when I first entered and I was young in arena football, period. it was hard to adjust from the routes, from getting that high motion start and things like that. So so to see the young guys on the defensive side of the ball and like the DBs especially being able to play the high motion the way they're playing and using their wall to their advantage and things like that, I was amazed. I was like, oh yeah, Coach Rowe got these guys ready, like, you know what I mean? And on the offensive side, you know, Coach Matt he's a genius on the offensive side. He played, he's a quarterback, he knows, you know what I mean? He knows the game very well, and he got these guys locked in. Same with Coach Peacock on the O line. Um, so so to bring me in as as I guess a vet ish, being around the game a little bit, you know, I can show these guys a little bit, like, you know, angles on routes and spacing and things like that. But I think more like keeping these guys together and discipline and keeping them humble and getting them ready day in and day out with staying focused in meetings and coaches are talking. I think that helps out a lot. I think that's a big role of mine. I take on daily, keeping these guys focused.
Absolutely. And you started off in Bismarck, spent a little time with Tucson and some time in the Western Conference, but one of your stops last year, you were with the Northern Arizona Wranglers, and obviously sad news this week out of Northern Arizona with Coach Dave Moran passing away. We just talked here before this that you played under him when you were with Naz. Can you kind of speak on your experience with Coach Moran and what you took away from him as a coach and the legacy that he left um, here with his coaching career and his life as he passed away this week?
So Coach Moran, man, that's my guy. That's a great man. Great coach. Um, he's a Prescott Valley legend out there. I believe he's born and raised out there, school coach, high school out there, everything. He's a legend out there. Me and Moran had a pretty good relationship. I believe I was with NAZ for about 7, 8 weeks. I sat week one out there, so this is crazy. I sat week one out there, and Coach Morant used to always tell me, like, you know, just stay locked in, keep coming to practice, working hard, and you know you're gonna get your shot. And so he really fought for me to get out there one day, one week, and it was only special teams. I was on kickoff and kick return. I want to say it was the first game we played Vegas. It was second week we played second week second game we played Vegas at home, and I had a kick return for a touchdown, and I'll never forget it. Coach Moran ran all the way across the end zone, and then it took me out. How excited he was, and it was just an amazing moment because he always believed in it, and he used to see me like, I wouldn't say pouting, but just like, damn, like, I just want an opportunity. I want to get out there with the guys, and he believed in me, and I'll never forget that moment with him, and so for him to fight for me to get out there on special teams, and I ended up having a pretty good year, beginning of the year last year, special teams. So that was huge, but yeah, it's kind of hard talking about Morant, man. He got a great family out there, two little ones. It just sucks that, you know, he couldn't give the game back to those two. But what he did, he touched a lot of folk. He's respected, well respected, and yeah, he got a lot of legends in this that he coached up or soon to be legends in this game. Um, so that's definitely salute to Coach Moran, and shout out to his family. My condolences, and you know, we'll keep him living as long as we can. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. The
yeah.
best kind of coach is an advocate. And as you just attested to, Coach Moran was that for you when you were out there with the Wranglers. And you mentioned special teams. And How important that aspect of the game is. We can talk about what you've done here in Green Bay. Obviously coming in, kind of rotating in, kind of as another kick returner here with Green Bay when a guy like Jalen Cagle is out of the lineup. Um, you've kind of been a guy that can step in and take that spot. And we mentioned this big moment here this season. You yourself had another kickoff return touchdown against Massachusetts. And coming from Mass, that's where you are originally from. So talk about that moment for you this season of kind of getting that big play out in Massachusetts and kind of turning that game on its head this season.
The Mass Pirates, man. We could talk about them all day. But no, shout out to the Mass. They have a great organization over there. And but yeah, that kick return was huge, man. The team needed a spark. We needed some life. They put their trust and belief in me, and starting with the coaches to the guys that was on the field right away, put me in position to be great. And so that's what we did, and made a little spark, and we took it from there. It was special too because I'm back home. I was on special team. Oh, I was on practice squad for Pirates for like a year and a half, 18 and 19 before they entered the IFL. Um, playing playing against their offensive coordinator, Bones Bagante, a good friend of mine, actually a mentor of mine also. He actually taught me the game, the arena game back in 2016, 17, when we played together with Boston Blaze. Um, playing against Coach Miller. He was my coach back in 21, my head coach in 21. So it's always exciting, go back home and play against some of the guys and things like that. And then obviously taking the win is huge. But I don't know. I'm not really one of those guys that just be like, it is what it is. The game happened already. It's over. We
Right.
won. The next one up. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get that. But yeah, I figured that had to kind of be a fun moment for you getting a chance to go back home to Massachusetts and come out with a big play and a big win at the end. Again, wanted to mention you mentioned you played under Coach Miller in Bismarck in 2021. And not only that in 2021, since the Quad City Steamwheelers were dormant, Coach Ross was out in Bismarck from Quad City. Um, Talk
yeah.
about that experience. And obviously, I know a lot of people from Quad City ended up going to Bismarck that year. And now, players are all over, and coaches and executives are now all over the league. Um, Talk about the community that this league has been, no matter really where anyone is.
First, let's shout out that 2021 Bismarck team. Coach Miller and Coach Ross put and Coach Hemp. Let's not forget about Coach Hemp. They put together a nice little team over there, man. We
Oh,
were
I
all
remember.
young.
I remember.
We were all new to the league. um, but yeah, we made it happen. It was a good time. I'm not gonna lie. All the most respect for Coach Ross and Coach Miller giving me a great opportunity to be in the IFL. I couldn't thank them enough, man. But yeah, honestly, it's hard to say. It's just a great opportunity because if you look at all of us now that played, with you got like Duncan and DJ that's over there in Quad City.
Hmm.
They've been amazing in the IFL. I believe Harvey's over there now. He's been a great asset in the IFL, great receiver. You got JT Stokes, receiver over in the Bay Area, putting up numbers the last couple of years. He's a great athlete. Justin Rankins,
Justin
he just
Rankin,
went down
yeah.
to Frisco. He was a running back in 21, another great athlete in the league. You got Mike Kerrigan, the receiver out in Tucson,
I mean, yeah,
another great athlete in the league.
you mentioned that this is almost giving me flashbacks of some not great times for the Blizzard. That year coming out of COVID, that was my first year on play-by-play, and I think we played Bismarck first game of the year. And yeah, I have some not so great memories with facing the Bismarck Bucks that season.
Yeah,
But
that might have been a
it,
rough season for y'all against us that year, but it's
yes,
all right.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
y'all
was.
fought.
But yeah, I mean, again, that's kind of where this league is. You see guys all over, just trying to find opportunities to make their own. And you mentioned a lot of those guys have really stepped up in new places since. And hopefully, you look at that organization and they're trying to make their way back. That should be um, an exciting potential to bring indoor football back to North Dakota. We'll see where that does pan out here in the next few years. But again, like we've talked about, you've kind of been around this game, a lot of different people around the IFL and around people who are here in the IFL now. Um, Overall, you look at this team and what you've been able to see and be a part of with this squad. What's been different about this team and where they're at going forward here in this 2024 season?
the the way we come together and respond to each other. Um, you don't see a bunch of you don't see a bunch of first year guys come into a league like this and respond the way they do. There's no I in team over here. There's no like, oh, it's all about me. Put the spotlight on me. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great athletes here, and they all can be. And I'm sure they was all them guys on their high school and college teams and wherever they were before here. But yeah, they come in every day with a plan to get better, like that, like we said earlier, that one more, and 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 it's hard to get that, and I know we're not easy to deal with, but we make it happen, and coach doesn't have to look over his shoulder too much on us, and oh, you guys do this and do that. Like we usually come in and we're ready, and we're locked in and get things done, and that's what I love most about this team, and if the discipline on the team is, I see a huge change from last time I played against the Green Bay Blizzards and what I've seen on film in the past. This team is a disciplined, humble team, and we just have a goal, and we all have the same mindset. It's like, don't let somebody, we're grown men. Don't let someone punch us in the mouth. You know what I mean? And if they do, we better respond. And these guys all got that killer mindset and winning mentality. And as long as we can stay together like we've been, and I don't see it changing, it's going to be exciting each day to just be out there with these guys.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate your time this week, taking some time out of the bye to talk with us this week. And like you mentioned, the season is not over yet. There is regular season's not over, two more games after this, and then finally it's playoffs time and should be an exciting time here in Green Bay. Andre, appreciate you sitting down with us here this week.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Talking Blizz with Joey Bonadonna. Again, Blizzard on the bye, but they'll be headed down to Jacksonville next week to take on the Sharks, trying to push through and bring the home field advantage, number one seed in the Eastern Conference, officially lock it in here over the next few weeks here in the IFL. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, go Blizz.